It's no secret that eggs, full of protein, vitamins, and minerals. Worldwide, an average person consumes about 150 to 200 eggs annually. That's over 1 trillion eggs per year. The shell of a chicken egg is comprised of about 96% calcium carbonate, crystals which are bound together by proteins. Common commercial methods for disposing of eggshells include use as fertilizer or as a source of calcium in animal feed, but the average consumer typically drops them into the kitchen waste bin or down the garbage disposal. Make sure it's clean and free of any egg residue and place it in an open container in your kitchen to dry. Once completely dry and you've built up a significant stockpile, use a pestle and mortar to grind it up into a fine powder. Keep watching to discover creative uses for eggshells that will benefit your garden. 1. Fertilizer. Eggshells are a great way to add calcium to your soil. You can simply toss your eggshells onto your soil without a problem, but eggshells can take a long time to break down, so you may want to crush your shells first. While calcium is considered a secondary nutrient for plants, your garden will certainly appreciate the added minerals, especially if you grow tomatoes or peppers, as these plants are the most easily affected by calcium deficiency. Eggshells in tomato planting holes can be a particularly effective way to reduce the risk of blossom end rot, a common tomato plant issue. 2. Seed starter pots. Because eggshells quickly biodegrade when introduced into the soil in the garden, they also double as the perfect seed starter pots. When you open your eggs to remove the contents, try to break just a small hole at the pointier end of the shell. Clean the inside of the eggshells and puncture a small drainage hole in the bottom of each empty shell. You can then place them back into the carton. Fill each shell with moist potting soil and add your seeds. Once the seedlings outgrow their pots, you can transplant them, shell and all, directly into bigger pots or out into the garden. 3. Compost. There is much debate about adding eggshells to compost, but eggshells are a perfectly safe and beneficial addition to your compost bin or heap. Eggshells are very slow to break down, and so should be washed to remove any egg residue that may attract unwanted critters, dried, and crushed into smaller pieces. The eggshells will likely still be visible in the final compost, but will not harm the finished product. If the other garden uses for eggshells aren't for you, then composting them is a simple way to return nutrients to the soil. 4. Pest deterrent. If you have problems with slugs and snails in your garden, try sprinkling coarsely crumbled eggshells around the plants where these slimy pests like to dine. The shell's sharp edges deter snails and slugs by abrading the sensitive foot of any land mollusk that attempts to cross the barrier. Most snails and slugs will quickly emigrate from your garden in search of easier pickings.